baby. Game day.
Game number 2.
Thanks for joining us,
Big one.
Baggedmilk. Yeah, this is a good one. My first question is, do you believe in the hockey gods?
Yeah, sometimes hockey gods giveth, hockey gods taketh away, and we saw that. I think a perfect example is Game 5 against the Flames, that Coleman goal that was called back. I thought it was a good goal, but they called it back, take advantage. Game 1 against the Avalanche, one of the most egregious offsides I've seen in a long time, gets called as a good goal because of some kind of mental gymnastics that Cale Makar was dumping the puck in. It was absurd, but you know what? That's hockey gods having hockey karma, I suppose. So the thing for the Oilers to do is really bounce back and just let it go.
I think that evens it up, though. Mm-hmm. Right? Like
with the hockey gods and the karma.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm going to go with this. Because,
and I'd rather have that happen in Game 1 over Game 7 or...
Exactly, right? I mean, if you think about it, if you really do the math on that offside call, it could have changed. Without that offside, it could have changed the entire trajectory of that game. It was 2-2. Mm-hmm. If that was called offside, it goes 2-2 to the end of the first. Yeah. There's no penalty. They don't come back and go up 4-2.
Cost them 2 goals.
So, and then let's just suggest that it is everyone gets the goals in the second and third period outside of those 2 for the Avs. Then it's 6-6. It goes into overtime. Who knows, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I think
that's one of those things where it's a woulda, shoulda, coulda, maybe. But I also think that the way I'm looking at Game 1 is that the Oilers just weren't good enough. Full stop. I think they gave the Avalanche way too much room in the neutral zone. I thought they gave them way too many clean looks on both Mike Smith and Mikko Koskinen. I thought they were just a little bit sloppy and loose. And unfortunately, the way they came roaring back, that goal that, in my opinion, should have been offside, but doesn't really matter what I think, ended up being the difference. But the good news is there are good takeaways from that game in the sense that they put up 6 goals on the Colorado Avalanche. They came roaring back from being down by 4. This team can score against anyone, and it doesn't matter who it is. So if they can tighten up some of the defensive aspects of their game, not fly the zone early, stop passing to no one in particular, clog up the neutral zone a little bit so Nathan MacKinnon doesn't have all kinds of wheels running through there like he did on his goal. I think they're going to be fine. I mean, that was a fun game. It was exciting. Yeah. Ultimately, we ended up on the wrong side of it. The bad call we're going to talk about probably for a long time. At the same point, I'm not going to whine about it like I'm a Flames fan and pretend like that was the reason that the Oilers lost. They made mistakes that ended up in the back of the net. Yeah. I'm not going to sit here and cry about it all summer like so many Calgary fans. How pathetic was it that Flames fans were crawling out from under the rock of obscurity just to be like, oh, see, I
was even getting it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. If the Battle of Alberta had somehow in a different universe been reversed and the Flames not terrible and you actually made it through to this round, I wouldn't be watching any of their games. The funny part about that to me was that the Oilers are just rent-free in the Flames fans' heads. No matter what happens, they're watching our games just as intently as we are. So I think that's the funniest part about it. But from an Oilers perspective, they got to tighten up a bunch of stuff. And if they do, they're going to be fine because they can score against anybody.
I agree.
Have they said whether or not Darcy Kuemper is playing for Colorado?
Mm-hmm.
That's an interesting question. As I was looking around this morning, there still hasn't been any clarification. He left Game 1 with an upper body injury after a delayed entry into the second period.
I thought he had the squirts.
That's what I thought too. I would have bet money on it.
But they're saying he couldn't see because he took a stick to the face against St. Louis
in the St. Louis series.
And they were saying that he was having vision problems or something. So yeah,
I'm not sure. I haven't seen anything, but that could be a different. Pavel Francouz is a really good goaltender for the Avalanche as the backup. So that could be a slight advantage for the Oilers. But then on our side, again, you need somebody to stop the puck as well. So that was just a sloppy Game 1. There's positive takeaways. There's some annoyances with the good goal call that should have been offside. But that's the way it goes. Like Locke said, sometimes the hockey gods giveth and sometimes they take it away.
Yeah. Smith will probably be back in. And he's a good bounce back goalie. That's being said out loud by all the sports donkeys.
Oh, yeah. Like, I mean, if there's one thing that Mike Smith has done very well so far in the playoffs and the season as a whole is bounce back after a game like that. I would be shocked if they don't go back to him. I think they will. I think it's the right move. You ride the horse that got you here. And you know what? Like Grant said, I'm happy that happened in game 1 and not game 4, 5, 6, 7, because you just get it out of the way. Seems like game 1s are the boys' kryptonite in the playoffs so far. Let's see what we get tonight in game 2.
Would you agree with Gretzky's observations that in order to win the Stanley Cup, they're going to have to play better defense?
Deep in his soul, he believes it.
That is interesting. Like, who is this man? First of all, he says the Flames are going to win the Battle of Alberta. And then second of all, he's like, you got to play defense. Like, who are you? What happened to you on team? What are they doing to you? Blink twice if you're being held hostage. We'll come and save you.
So there's a conversation right now that they might split up Leon and McDavid. My guess is they'd put Kane back up with McDavid, and then Nuge and Draisaitl will play together. Is that what you're seeing?
It'll be interesting. I mean, like, Leon looks healthier and healthier as the playoffs have gone along, despite the reports that he's battling a high ankle sprain. But I think that I wouldn't be surprised to see them start together again tonight to see how things go. And then if it kind of unravels early, maybe that they split them up. But I don't know, because that's how the Oilers got into the playoffs in the first place, is having McDavid and Draisaitl apart with Nuge centering the third line. So I could absolutely see them going back to that. They've had success with it, but to this point, we haven't had any line combinations or updates from the Oilers yet. So I guess we'll see what happens closer to puck drop.
We should talk about where Oilers Nation are going to be tonight to watch Game 2.
We're going to be at Beercade on White Ave. So if you're looking for a spot to watch the game, maybe play some vids during the intermission, it's a good time down at Beercade. So we'll be out there on White Ave tonight before puck drop. Plenty of prizes to give away, plenty of stuff to give away. So make your way down there. Plenty of space for you. Love to see you.
You know what? It's going to be 22 degrees today when the game starts, and beautiful weather. And I just, you know what? We lost game 1. It was a weird one. Again, another weird one. But we're still playing freaking hockey in Edmonton.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and that's the thing, too, is the Oilers are playing with house money right now. So I think that they're going to come into this game a little bit loose. They're not going to feel the pressure of what happened in game 1. They've done this twice before in the last 2 series. I think we're going to see a better team tonight, but I also think that we're going to see a better Colorado Avalanche team tonight, because I can't imagine they're happy giving up 6 goals either. So it's going to be a fun hockey game, plenty of skill, plenty of speed. So we'll see what happens, because as we saw in game 1, I don't think anybody would have expected a 14-goal game in game 1, but that's what we got. So we'll see what we get tonight in game 2.
Our man, Baggedmilk, Oilers Nation, thank you for your time again.
Thanks, boys.
The Locker Room.
Brought to you by Always Plumbing and Heating.
Weekday mornings on 95.7 Cruise FM.